Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Rising, here is your video, your November 2020 guide, your walkthrough, our stroll energetically together, the new moon of November and November's eclipse. Yes, you heard me right. There is an eclipse in November, the degrees and the dates, and we're going to go over energetically the frequencies. What are the traits, the qualities, and the characteristics of the sign which the eclipse and the new moon are in? Once we understand those, once we have an idea of how those signs, how they emanate, how they radiate, what they look like, what they taste like, then we have an understanding, a clearer understanding of what the energies are going to be for the surrounding times and how to navigate through that, how to walk through it, how to be logical and rational, and how to combine both sides of the mind. Okay, and when I say that, we've got the left side and the right side, right? And so one is all about our thinking and being logical, being rational, being able, our cognitive abilities. And then we've got this other side of the brain, the other side, which is more of the intuitiveness, which is more about bringing in that which is beyond self, which is greater than what my mind could comprehend, right? And so that is the beauty of weaving both sides of the left and the right of the brain together. This is a Gemini energy that we're talking about. This is Gemini frequencies. This is all about recognizing two different sides of my personality, two different sides of my being, seeing how that is me, this part of me that I may not like or that I may not want to own, but if I want to grow, if I'm willing to process and grow, I have to be willing to recognize and to see. And I have to be willing to say, okay, I know I don't want to admit that's me, but I have to embrace this and work with it in my own way and in my own time in order to move forward. And so this is a combination of all of that. This is a time of new moon, which is wishing and intentions. So I'm going to give you the special date for that because we have a window of wishing when the universal energies, when the frequencies are coming through and they are emitting a type of energy and we know what it is and we understand the language of it. So we understand the language of it. We make our wishes, we make our intentions, we say our prayers, and the universe can hear it. God, Father, Allah, Mother, Universe, whatever you want to call that which you know, which is greater than you, whatever it is that resonates for you, whatever it is that works for you. We are all inclusive here. This is why we are called Allastrology, because it involves everybody. It involves you, it involves me, them, they, it involves everybody. This is for we, not just me, but we energy. This is all astrology. If you're new here, welcome. My name is G. I am here to walk you energetically, to go with you hand in hand. We go together, we talk about it, we walk about it. You comment below if you haven't been here before. You let me know who you are. If you don't know what your rising sign is, put those digits in down below. Also below the video, if you take a peek, you can find out where the website is. You can contact me personally if you're a little shy or if you don't want your information out there. Your best bet, comment your birth digits below. We'll find the right rising sign for you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I am nothing without you. As we move through the month of November, we have lots of stuff happening. We have Mercury going direct after its retrograde in Scorpio and Libran energies. But we have a new moon and we have an eclipse. Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Rising. Again, you might be listening to this video saying, well, I'm a Pisces birthday. Isn't this for me? Yes, it is for you, but I'm going to tell you a secret. You will get so much more out of this if you find out for certain what your rising sign is. What I share, the information that I give here, the information that comes through is more about timing of events for you. Like you can look on a calendar and see the timing of the events. And the only way we can do that is based on the time of your birth. Because at the time of your birth, the planets were located in a certain spot in the sky. And that's based on your birth time and where you were located. So it's a birth time and the birth location along with your birth date. That is your rising sign. And that is what will give you a more accurate for you reading when you're listening to all astrology videos. So welcome. Glad to have you. And I am very sincere when I say that. Meet me down below in the comments. Talk to me. Reach out to me. Pound we are one. I'll know you're serious. I know you were listening. I know that you truly are thirsty for whatever comes through, thirsty for knowledge, thirsting for growth, self-growth. Know thyself. And if there is any other way other than experiential, if there's any other form of learning about self that you as the listener knows that is good for you, that works for you, or that works better for you, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. I want to hear about it because that has been one of my quests for a very long time. And so far, astrology has been the answer for me. You have to choose if it's the answer for you, but there's only one way to find out. You have to jump into the astrological waters. So new moon November happens on the 11th, 11/14 or 11/15, depending upon where you live in the world. November 14th, November 15th, the new moon time. That's the big deal. When is the new moon? It happens at 11:08 p.m. I plan on having a map for the video when I do like the chart. That's for people who like the deep dives. Not everybody's up for that, and that's fine. I will attach that down below. November 14th or November 15th, depending upon where you live, it's at 11:08 p.m., and that is Central Standard Time. So you do have to adjust for your time zone. Now, we have to go into the new moon energy. It is in Scorpio energy. What this means is we need to understand the sign of Scorpio. We need to understand the sign of Scorpio, and we also need to know for a Pisces ascendant what house this happens, because the house number tells us the where it happens in your life. Scorpio energy is deeply bonded energy. It's people that I relate to in a way where we resonate. We resonate at a cellular level. SOUL-U-L-A-R. We resonate at a cellular level. I use the word cellular because it's Scorpio. Scorpio has two rulers. Its traditional ruler is Mars, but it also has Pluto as its ruler. And Pluto is the soul. Pluto is the past. Pluto goes deep, okay? It's deep, right? Think about this. I can't look at you and say to you, I see your soul. I mean, typically, we don't talk about it like that. We don't say, I can see your soul. We can say, I can look at you. I can see your body. I see your personality by the way you act and the choices you make. But I don't necessarily say, hey, I recognize your soul, although that's another video for another time. The soul is deep. It's below the surface. So unless you're an individual who has come in with the ability to be able to connect with people soul to soul, not saying that you can't do that. I'm just saying that typically what we see at face value, the material, the physical, the personality is not the soul. And that is normally what we come into contact with, which is the ego and the personality. But when it comes to the soul stuff, right, there are things that come up that are very deep that float to the surface, right? And that's because it's cellular layers, right? And those cellular layers have to do, whether it's past lifetimes or events from childhood, events from a long time ago, things that happened in our lives that could have created energetic wounds. And so Scorpio energy is all about that. It's about a releasing of energetic wounds, releasing and providing energetic healing. But the release of those energetic wounds has to happen first. The end of October, actually, there was a full moon, okay? And that full moon was literally in the sign of Taurus at 8:38 or 8:37, whatever. Anyway, that's at the opposing energy of Scorpio, right? Taurus and Scorpio run along the same line of energy. That was a full moon of release, releasing something we valued, releasing a person in our life, perhaps, releasing a value that we had. Like we had a value for, say, ooh, I used to love these things, right? I love them. Well, you know what? I realize they're too much money. I don't value them anymore. I'm putting them aside. This no longer a value for me, right? I'm changing my values. So I'm releasing a value, right? And normally a full moon is all about we release a value, we release a person, we release a relationship, we release a desire, because it's full moon in Taurus energy, a desire. We no longer have this desire. I'm releasing this desire. Taurus is very magnetic. It's all about my wants, my desires, right? It's what I need, but it's not just needs all the time. And it's deciphering the difference between needs and wants. Big deal, right? And so letting go possibly of things that we realize, okay, I like that, I want that, but I don't need it. But making sure that we understand where that happens. So for Pisces ascendant, that Taurus energy was in your third house. So this is the way you think, the way you communicate. This is valuing communication, okay? Sibling energy, neighbors energy, people in your community, and coworker energy. Understand this. There might be a release of something because this is a full moon that the that there's a light shined on, right? And it has to do with Uranian. Uranian is shocks and surprises. So the full moon, October 31st, will likely be a revelation in some way. The new moon now, the opposite, right? The new moon in Scorpio, right? So we had a full moon, a release in Taurus energy, a new moon in Scorpio. We have this new desire, this new thing we want for our future, something we want to bring in. Your Scorpio energy, Scorpio, we want to release the old wounds, the old hurts. It's about forgiveness. It's about letting go. It's about forgiveness is a big thing because that's how we heal. We have to forgive, right? We've got these wounds. And typically something comes to the surface. And so this has a lot to do with what you just went through when that full moon came around, right? At the end of the month, the big surprise. We have to have forgiveness. We have to release. We have to understand what it is that's important in our life moving forward, what it is we need to have an energetic bonded relationship. But remember, this is not just my emotional wounds, but it's a we thing because it's Scorpio. Right? Taurus is my values. Scorpio at the opposite is our values. Taurus, my values. Scorpio, our values. So a new moon in our values. What are we bringing in? Let's find out your ninth house. So ninth house is all about, I know, right? I had the wrong fingers up. Ninth house is all about your beliefs. It's all about your beliefs for your future. It's all about your religion. It's your philosophy on life. It is you have Scorpio energy there. So it's our values, but our values going forward as far as religion, our values going forward as far as our spirituality, our values going forward as far as like my future, our future together. Where do I see us, right? It's like, so there needs to be, when you have Scorpio in this place, wherever Scorpio is in someone's chart, you're going to bond deeply with individuals where you have common spiritual beliefs, where you have common religious beliefs, where you have common philosophies in life, where you have common beliefs about the future, common beliefs about traveling, because it's also further education, like additional education, like but it's like college education. It's taking continuing education. It's being the teacher, but it's this it's deep, it's metaphysical, first of all, right? So these are people where I can connect with my dead loved ones. I know that they've passed on, but they're not gone, right? They're no longer in the material, but they are still with us. This is Scorpio in the ninth house. Recognizing the ninth house, people speak to source at that point, right? This is the mind of God energy, but also with loved ones that have passed on, possibly spirit guides for other people. You have free will. This is such a subjective thing as to how you choose to let this sort of energy express in your life, what you do with it. Each energy operates at, like, we like to put it into 3 different categories, so to speak, okay? You want to join in on the reading? Come on, Zoe. She's a Scorpio, so this makes a lot of sense that we got Zoe. They might want to see you. Well, you definitely want to see, oh, you can see your ears. You want to say hello? You going to purr for them? They can hear you purring because you're right by the microphone. We have this energetic healing possibility, okay? And it's this new moon, right? So getting together and having a future, because again, ninth house is future, but having a solidified future with others where we have shared values, okay? So that might work because there's different levels in the way that people operate with this energy. And because again, it's ninth house. This is all Jupiter stuff. So beliefs about freedom, beliefs about foreigners and foreign lands, right? Because this is a great placement for someone speaking multiple languages. And so when you have Scorpio there, don't be surprised if you can not just channel. I got this information earlier today. It's not just channeling, but it is sitting down and doing, it's trance. Okay. What I mean by that, it's you can sit there and somebody can come through, but it's more than just them coming through as far as you're hearing their voice. Trance is when you can step out of who you are and allow another being to step into the physical body. And then they actually communicate. Like, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to use this just as an example. You saw the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, that was trance mediumship she was doing. Okay, and so it's a real thing. All right, obviously there are some out there who are like scammers. Like in the movie, at the beginning of the movie, she was always a scammer, right? But it ended up being that someone actually channeled through her, right? He was able to step into her. Well, that's a real thing, right? And obviously this would only appeal depending upon where you are at in your beliefs, okay? So you might be in a point where you're like, that's a crock, I don't believe that kind of thing, and that's okay. That's okay. We all do not have to believe the same thing. The whole point is we understand there may be things that are real that we don't believe in. Is that possible? Is that possible for there to be something that exists that you can't wrap your mind around in it and it doesn't sit right with you and therefore you don't believe it? But does that mean that it's not real? When you're ready to jump on board with something like that, when that day comes, you will. And for all you know, that day may never come in this lifetime. But I got to tell you, Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising with Scorpio in the 9th house, I don't think so. I think you know darn well what I'm talking about. What do you think? Do you think they know? Yeah, I think they know too. So this location in the 9th house and having a new moon here, this tells me that you are working on either developing that, you are working on either clarifying that, like learning how to get more clarity. Because when information comes through, there's this whole big discernment testing period of how do I separate mine and what comes through somebody else, or how do I operate in a level where what's coming through isn't a lying spirit, so to speak. You want the most accurate information possible. And so there's a lot of troubleshooting that has to go on. And so you may be somebody who's trying to work on that. So that's a possibility. This may be somebody who wants to go on to extended education. Maybe you're going to have, you're going into research, right? If you have Scorpio in the 9th house, oh yeah, continuing education, get your PhD in something, which requires a lot of research. That gives you the ability to do that, okay? And that is an example of it in the 3D world, right? In a world which is very tangible, relatable, as opposed to all this, metaphysical stuff. But this is definitely a very metaphysical placement, very metaphysical. And that's paranormal, metaphysical, 5D, beyond the 3D realm, dipping in on the other side, dipping in and communicating with that which you cannot see. Also, keep in mind the releasing of wounds, releasing of history, releasing of energetic wounds around something that we valued, right? There may have been a loss over something that was of value, and it's a release. It's an acceptance. It's a forgiveness. And the new moon is on, I already gave you the dates, I think, November 14th, 15th, 11:08 p.m. The whole point of the timing is you want to make certain it's as close to that time as possible within a 12-hour period. And actually, I don't even like 12 hours. You really want to do it when the sun and the moon are right on top of each other. And they're right on top of each other at 11:08 p.m. Central Standard Time on November 14th. It may be a different day for you because it's so close to midnight in my time zone. And again, if you want clarity on that for where you are in the world, you just comment to me below where you are in the world, and I will say, okay, it's at such and such time at this time. Just recognize that it's there and that it has to be dealt with. And the way we deal with it is by just giving it up to the universe, right? Saying, hey, I want it no more. Bring in bravery, bring in courage, bring in fire and optimism. I'm hearing Archangel Michael. Michael is the guardian. Michael is protection for the new moon, right? And so Michael is the guardian of the south, element fire. Michael burns away fear and negativity. That is your message for you, Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising. The eclipse happens in Gemini, okay? This is going to be important for you because it's an eclipse. An eclipse, this is a lunar eclipse, by the way. You want to see, do you have anything in Gemini energy at 8:38? An eclipse, because of its power, we always look at the point of the eclipse, 8:38, and we always look at the opposing energy of the eclipse, 8:38. So that's Gemini 8:38 and Sagittarius at 8:38. You have Gemini energy in your 4th house. This is your home. This is your mental home, your emotional home, and your physical home, okay? The opposite, so that's Gemini, the opposite of your Gemini energy, your Sagittarius energy is at work, your career, your goals, your ambitions. People who are authority figures in your life, authority figures at the job, right? The J-O-B. So you're looking to see if you're looking for points. You're looking for either planets or it could be house cusp lines when we say points. That's what that means. I give a 2-degree orb typically. I usually see that works out the best. So when I say a 2-degree orb, that's 2 degrees before the eclipse and 2 degrees after the eclipse, which means if the eclipse happens at 8:38, that puts us at 6:38 before and 10:38 after. So I will repeat myself for you. You're looking for the degrees between 6:38 and 10:38 of both signs of Gemini and Sagittarius energy. See if you have something there. If you don't know and you want to know, comment below. This lunar eclipse is a time when we have the sun and the moon. It's a full moon, in essence, is what it is. It's a full moon eclipse. Now, full moons represent a letting go of something, okay? Now, because it's an eclipse, it's a change, but it's a North Node eclipse. North Node is about something's coming. It's our future. Something's coming down the pipe, all right? This is home and work, home and work. Emotions, emotional security, right? This is home, my inner world, my emotional security, and work, which is my tangible security. This is home, where I live. This is work, my ambitions, what I want to do professionally for a living, what I love doing, my highest hopes, goals, and ambitions in the world, and can I please get paid for it too? So, right, that's how energy works, right? They run along this line of energy, right? That's how it runs. So what we're doing is we're understanding if it's an eclipse means change is coming. This is a guarantee. Eclipses represent guaranteed changes. The extent of changes, how big is it going to be? Because yes, eclipses happen and some people are like, I didn't notice anything. And that's a very good possibility. It is a big deal if you have anything at the degrees I gave you. That's why I give you the degrees. But understanding what this eclipse means also helps, right? I gave you the areas of your life in which it occurs, okay? And it occurs at 8:38 Gemini, and then we look at the 8:38 in Sagittarian energy, home and work, emotions, all right? It's Gemini energy. Gemini energy is also how we think, how we talk, how we communicate, how we relate. This is at home, how you think at home, how you talk at home, how you relate at home. This is sibling energy in the home, without a doubt. Neighbors, without a doubt, right? Your peers, people that you're with in the home, because you have Gemini energy in your fourth house. So we are weaving the fourth house understanding with Gemini energy. Gemini is all about talking with the hands, relating, communicating. Gemini is all about thinking. It's all about social media in the home, right? Do you work out of your home? Okay? Do you work out of your home? Because the North Node's in Gemini. So if you aren't working out of your home, are you going to be working out of your home? Social media is Gemini energy, okay? This is where we're headed. The North Nodes, the nodes will transit and will be here, and they will light this spot up in 2021. This point, when we have an eclipse point, it's like a button. When we have an eclipse, it's a button. And so every time another planet later on after the eclipse comes by and touches this area, it's as though the planet touches the button and presses it. And when it does, it adds more energy and it takes on the essence of whatever that planet was that was passing by. Okay? I know that's going deep, and I will do the rest of the work for you if you want me to. Quick looks are free. Quick looks are free. That's not a problem. It's the stuff that requires me to dig and go further. That's a little bit different. Then we got to work together. Then you contact me. You comment me down below, and then we'll start a rapport and we'll go from there. For this eclipse, I can give you a good amount of information for free. It's in your fourth house. Home. Is my home changing? Am I moving? Am I going to be working at home if I'm not moving? Because eclipses are so big, they can make those sort of changes. And why do I say, am I moving? Well, because if this has something to do with work, which it can, because it's an eclipse here at home, and it also triggers the 10th house. Sometimes when we change where we work, we also change where we live. And sometimes when we change where we live, we also change where we work. So when eclipses happen, they're very big for that reason. And they don't necessarily mean that they happen on that day. So don't be fearful about it, all right? This is just me saying it's a possibility. The thing is to get your mind flexible. And remember, the North Node in Gemini, this is where the nodes are for all of 2021. It is about our thinking and about our thinking being flexible, being open to change. The change has everything to do with open to the way we think about our work, the way we think about the way we communicate. key ingredient here. Maybe we were communicating through sign language. Maybe we were communicating using the telephone. Maybe we were communicating, face to face. Maybe we were the people who went and talked and sat down and had conference with someone. Maybe we were selling things, because that's Gemini energy. It's definitely salesman energy. Gemini energy is the scribe, the one who keeps track of the data and the information and feels like they need to deliver it. The eclipse energy gives you the power to make changes. It comes down to my beliefs about what home should be like, my beliefs about how communication should be in the home, but also, and the relating and how all that works. Like, my way of relating is different to what your way of relating is. So everyone's definition of communication is very different, right? Like, extremely different. There are those who don't use words a whole lot, right? And so this is understanding, just going beyond your understanding of what you can do. This is a beautiful time of receiving information, a beautiful time of not just believing in the higher frequencies and emanations and energies that can come in, but cellular power is a big deal here. There's cellular sounds, cellular solutions, sounds of the soul, a symphony of your soul. And I'm saying soul because I know it doesn't make any sense. It's Gemini energy. I know it doesn't make any damn sense. But this has so much to do with your previous new moon in the beginning of November. And that was a Plutonian-ruled new moon, okay? And that Plutonian new moon had to do with your beliefs, right? Here's the thing. We can't, everybody says, like, you are what you eat, right? You are what you think. But we can't change the way we think, because here's the thing, like, can we change the way we think? Can we change the way we talk and we relate? We can, but not unless we change our beliefs about something. And that's where your power is. That is your cellular power, okay? Because the new moon in the beginning of the month, like, the 14/15th, prayer, intentions, asking to make that change, for the change of acceptance, of forgiveness, of release, to move forward in oneness, in our partnerships, in our values, understanding that what I value, my partner may not value, what my partner values, I may not value, and somehow being able to move forward, but knowing that it's plutonium power, it's cellular power, meaning you don't have to know the answers, okay? You don't have to know the answers. And this is so, I can't stress enough what a cool, fascinating, awesome time this can be. I know it can be scary, because when there's uncertainty, it's like, oh my gosh, all you got to do is have some faith. And I know that's so easy to say. And this eclipse is a North Node eclipse. Have faith that even though you're being asked to release something, it is the ability of releasing something because there is something better waiting for you. We never know that what is out there is better for us until we get there, right? It's always in hindsight. It's always like, God, I wish I would have known now I wish I would have known then what I know now, right? Or I wish I would have made that choice 10 years ago. I wish I would have done that a long time. Right? How many times have you said that? I can think of a ton of times where I was kicking myself because I was like, I knew I should have done that 3 years ago. I knew it, right? Like, at that time, I knew it, but I resisted. Why? Because of change. Change is a big deal when we talk about fixed energies, okay? And so harnessing that new moon energy, which is a fixed new moon, right in the middle of the month, it's Scorpio energy, so it's fixed emotions about something. Being open to change, being open to change of value, okay? Being open and understanding, being willing to let something go, all right? Being willing to move on and to bring in something new, to dissolve the fear. That's why we had that whole fear issue. Michael the Archangel come in. We're dissolving and burning away fear because there's so much uncertainty. The eclipse coming, affecting the home, affecting the work, all right? This is all about something new, being open to something new, but it has to do with your beliefs, without a doubt, because we can't really change the way we think until we get a handle on what we believe, until we get a handle on that. And it takes time. That's not a quick thing. It's not a quick thing. And I know. And I'm with you on that. Okay. I know. I get it. It's a difficult thing and it requires persistence. But remember Neptune. Neptune is guiding the North Node. Neptune is part of this, okay? Neptune is your ruler, Pisces. Neptune rules your ascendant, okay? And so understand it's transforming you to be more than you can fathom. All right, there's something else out there for you that is higher than your ambitions, but will include your ambitions. It's higher than your ambitions, but will encompass them. Okay, that will be a part of that picture for you. There will be more emotional satisfaction in it. It'll be something that invigorates you. It'll be something that feeds you, something that you can strategically move towards. Once you start dipping your toes in it, this thing, whatever this is, this new work, this new thinking, this new believing, once you get your toes dipped into it, you'll then see there will be ahas. And these ahas won't happen until after February, okay? Because that's when Neptune is square to the North Node, right? It's for 4 months, all right? It's really going to be the winter. All right, really, really is, regardless of where you live. It's winter. What happens in the winter? We have less sunlight. Okay, what happens in the winter? We're indoors more, right? We have less daylight. We're indoors. It's a time when things, they fall back. We don't see the leaves. Everything. It's a time of going within. It's a time of going within. It's a time of prayer. It's a time of self-reflecting. It's a self-reflective time. And it's kind of like a cocoon that we go in, right? It's like that. We're going through a change. There's this metamorphosis. And when we go into that cocoon, when we go into the cave, so to speak, of self, when we go within, when we have soul conversations, when we talk to the Creator, whatever it is we got to do to know thyself better, there's change and transformation that happens, right? It happens just like the caterpillar, just like what the hell goes on in that chrysalis, we don't know. All we know is when the emerging stage happens, that thing's got wings. It looks nothing like it looked when it went in, and it's flying. It's flying. And it's flying, and there's light. It's happy. It's free, and there's joy.